Cosa Nostra, which is the biggest one, which is the mafia from Sicily. The 'Ndrangheta, which is the honor society from Calabria. The Camorra, which is the collective name of very disparate clans in the Campania, Naples region. And then the so-called Apulian Mafia. There are many minor mafias as well.
Have you ever wondered how the Sicilian Mafia came to the US and managed to build an empire that remained in history as the most bloody criminal organization of all time? How was that possible? Was it because America was too weak, or the Italians were too cunning? How the government reacted to the rise of this new, ruthless criminal structure that continued to impact society up to the present day. Step into the mysterious world of the Sicilian Mafia, a hidden group that has intrigued people for years. Starting in 19th century Sicily, Cosa Nostra has had a big impact on society, politics, and the global underworld. How did the Mafia start with landlord-farmer relationships, and what role did the Allies' invasion of Sicily in 1943 play in its growth? Who are the main players, like the Godfather and soldiers, and how does someone become a made member? As we look at the lasting impact of the Sicilian Mafia, we wonder, can the ongoing fight against organized crime truly break down its network, or does the shadow of Cosa Nostra still linger? Well, you can answer it all if you stay tuned till the end of this video, so let's get started. Travel back to the late 19th century in western Sicily, where the roots of the Sicilian Mafia first took hold. Imagine mafia frontmen and bosses quietly building their influence, sparked by Gabalotto's control over landlord-farmer relationships. Surprisingly, the Italian state unintentionally fueled the mafia's growth by tapping into the expertise of these mafiosi familiar with the local scene. Fast forward to 1943, when the Allies invaded Sicily, shaking up the mafia's world. Fascist officials were ousted, and previously imprisoned mafiosi found themselves in positions of power. This allowed the mafia to spread its wings beyond the island, diving into protection racketeering, mediating criminal conflicts, and sealing shady deals. Picture Cosa Nostra becoming synonymous with dark activities like murder, extortion, drug trafficking, and corruption. Some mafiosi even fled to new regions to continue their illicit pursuits. Uncover the meaning of Cosa Nostra, or our thing in English, tied to powerful mafia bosses and their covert society. The mafia's influence stretched into Sicilian politics, with accusations against parties like Forza Italia for alleged connections with the underworld. Think of the Sicilian Mafia as a network of powerful families or clans, each controlling specific areas or entire towns. Imagine a town like one under the influence of the Contrera Caruana Mafia clan, where fierce rivalries and violent conflicts play out between different mafia families, vying for control over neighborhoods or entire cities. The power dynamics are intricate, involving a mix of cooperation and antagonism among these families. As the mafia expands, so do its internal power struggles and territorial disputes, leaving a lasting impact on Sicilian society and beyond. In the intricate world of the Sicilian Mafia, multiple families hold specific territories, each with its own structured hierarchy. At the helm stands the Godfather Padrino, possessing ultimate authority over the family's operations. Supporting the Godfather is a network of subordinates, including the chief of the district, Capo Mandamento, who appoints a deputy and trusted advisors, and the head of 10 Capodecina, overseeing foot soldiers or picciatos, also known as Sicilian mafiosi. Members dub themselves men of honor, while the public commonly refers to them as mafiosi. To ensure loyalty and confidentiality, the Sicilian Mafia strictly follows a code of silence called omerta. This code mandates that members remain silent when confronted by authorities, even if the consequence is a life behind bars. In the organized setup of Cosa Nostra, roles are diverse, featuring bosses, frontmen, and soldiers collaborating in crews, overseen by a capo or captain. Mafia bosses, the top-ranking members, make crucial decisions, give orders, and ensure the organization's financial success. Frontmen carry out bosses' orders, managing day-to-day operations, while soldiers execute those orders, engaging in criminal activities. To attain the coveted status of a made member in Cosa Nostra, one must be of Italian descent, show the ability to generate income for the family, and be willing to commit acts of violence. This structured hierarchy and division of responsibilities and power the Sicilian Mafia to tightly control its criminal pursuits and maintain loyalty among its members. Giovanni Falcone, an Italian magistrate and anti-mafia champion, dedicated his life to battling the Sicilian Mafia. Leading investigations and prosecutions, he orchestrated the groundbreaking Maxi trial, convicting numerous mafia figures. Tragically, in 1992, the Mafia assassinated Falcone, showcasing its formidable influence. However, his death fueled the anti-mafia movement, intensifying efforts to dismantle the criminal network. Shifting to the Catholic Church, it has vehemently opposed organized crime with varying attitudes over the years, taking decisive steps, including studying mafia excommunication. The Church openly condemned the mafia's impact on Sicilian society. This underscores that combating organized crime isn't just a legal and political struggle, but a moral and spiritual one. At its core, the mafia revolves around one driving force: money. Throughout its rich history, this secretive and powerful entity has held sway over everything from street-level drug trade to the highest echelons of government. Operating outside the bounds of the law, its members navigate a perilous existence, simultaneously becoming accepted and feared in the very neighborhoods and cities they inhabit. Immortalized in movies and television, relentlessly pursued by law enforcement, and often marked for death by adversaries, these mobsters lead lives steeped in violence and fleeting in duration. The Mafia, in essence, is a family. To join its ranks means embracing secret rituals, intricate rules, and a complex web of loyalty. Those who defy the family risk being ostracized, and worse, many who have turned against the Mafia have met gruesome, untimely deaths. Today, the term mafia is broadly used to denote nearly any organized crime group, sometimes extending to groups unrelated to criminal activities. In this exploration, we'll focus on the traditional meaning of mafia, organized criminal organizations with Italian and Sicilian roots. In the realm of organized crime, a hierarchy exists, with higher-ranking members making decisions that cascade down to the family's other members. The Mafia isn't a singular group or gang. Rather, it comprises numerous families that, at times, engage in fierce gang wars. Yet, there are moments of collaboration for greater profits, with occasional service on a commission that makes pivotal decisions, impacting all families. More often than not, they agree to coexist by steering clear of each other's territories. Being part of the Mafia is not tied to political or religious affiliations. While many mafiosi have Italian roots and may be Catholic, the commitment they make upon becoming a made man in a Mafia family places the Mafia above even their birth family and God. La Cosa Nostra, often translated as our thing or this thing of ours from Italian, originally described the lifestyle of organized criminals in Sicily. When the Mafia expanded to the United States, FBI agents eavesdropping on wiretaps picked up on the term. They adopted the phrase La Cosa Nostra to refer to the Mafia, particularly its American members, distinguishing them from old-world mobsters. Omerta represents the Mafia's code of silence, a vow to keep secrets within the family. A made man is someone officially inducted into a Mafia family, while a capo, once the head of a Sicilian family, now serves as a lieutenant to the family boss. Each mafia gang is referred to as a family, where not everyone is blood related, though it is common for relatives to be inducted into the same family as their brothers or fathers. In the realm of La Cosa Nostra, each mafia faction operates as a family, a term used to denote a gang within the organization. The number of families can vary widely, ranging from fewer than 10 to over 100. Establishing a new family may require approval from heads of other families, or can emerge to a splinter group consolidating its power over time. While each family manages its own business affairs, collaboration and overlap can occur depending on proximity and shared ventures. At the helm of each family is the boss, or Don, who holds the ultimate authority, making critical decisions and overseeing the flow of money earned by the family. The boss plays a crucial role in settling disputes and maintaining order within the organization. Directly beneath the boss is the underboss, the second in command, whose level of influence can vary. Some underbosses independently resolve conflicts, while others are groomed to take over if the boss faces challenges such as age or legal troubles. Below the underboss are the capos, acting as lieutenants responsible for specific sections of the family. The number of capos depends on the family size, with each capo overseeing designated activities, whether geographically or by the illicit operations they manage. Successful capos prioritize revenue generation, keeping a portion of earnings from their ventures and passing the remainder up the chain to the underboss and boss. Handling the gritty tasks within the mafia falls to the soldiers, the lowest rank among made men. While they are integral members of the family, soldiers wield minimal power and earn comparatively modest incomes. The number of soldiers under a specific capo can vary significantly, reflecting the dynamic nature of each family. Beyond soldiers, the mafia engages associates, individuals not officially inducted into the organization but collaborating on criminal endeavors with soldiers and capos. Associates come from diverse backgrounds, spanning from burglars and drug dealers to professionals like lawyers, investment bankers, police officers, or politicians. Another intriguing figure within the family structure is the consigliere. Traditionally, this role is intended to be elected by family members rather than appointed by the boss. The consigliere serves as an advisor, making impartial decisions based on fairness and logic rather than personal biases or vendettas. While this position is meant to be outside the family hierarchy, in reality, consiglieres are sometimes appointed and may not always remain impartial. Popularized by Robert Duvall's portrayal of lawyer Tom Hagen in the Godfather movies, the consigliere's legendary status adds an intriguing layer to the mafia's intricate dynamics. The mafia, misunderstood, isn't a conventional organization with a CEO or headquarters. Instead, it's a broad term encompassing various gangster groups rooted in Italy or Sicily. There are 5 original mafia groups, each with global criminal operations and operatives scattered across different countries. Originating in Sicily, the Sicilian Mafia has a deep and complex history. The Camorra Mafia, hailing from Naples, and the Calabrian Mafia, also known as 'Ndrangheta, originating in Italy's Calabria region, are equally influential. The Sacra Corona Unita, a newer group, is based in Italy's Puglia region. La Cosa Nostra, often linked to the American Mafia, traces its roots back to Sicilian and other Italian groups. Naming conventions for mafia families lack clarity, initially being tied to their place of origin or boss's name. In New York City, the 5 main families, Bonanno, Genovesi, Gambino, Lucchesi, and Profaci, had their names semi-permanently set in 1963 based on informer Joe Valachi's testimony. Over time, changes occurred, such as the Profaci family becoming the Colombo family, and the Gambino family facing alterations due to John Gotti. Other U.S. families are often named after the cities where they operate. Understanding the intricate web of mafia families reveals a complex tapestry of criminal influence and history. The clandestine world of mafia induction ceremonies, shrouded in secrecy for decades, came into the public eye through Joe Valachi's revealing testimony in the early 1960s. This portrayal captures the Sicilian Mafia ceremony, applicable to most American mafia families, with some variations based on circumstances like prison or gang wars. The initiation begins with a simple directive: dress up or get dressed. The prospective member is ushered to a private location and seated beside the boss at a long table. Surrounding mafioso join hands, reciting loyalty oaths. Some families pair the new member with an experienced mobster acting as a godfather, guiding them into mafia life. The inductee commits to lifelong family membership, often sealing the pledge with a drop of blood drawn from their trigger finger, while in some cases, a burning piece of paper is involved. Yet, mafia entry demands more than oaths and symbolic gestures. Exclusive to men of Italian heritage, the criteria vary. Some require both parents to be Italian, while others accept an Italian father. A potential mobster must exhibit a knack for making money or a readiness for violence when commanded. Typically, a criminal must pass a stringent test, often rumored to involve participation in a murder. A final hurdle arises in the form of the commission, a response to the intense mafia wars of the 1920s and 30s. To prevent recruits from infiltrating rival families, the commission mandated sharing lists of prospective members. This not only identified family ties, but also enabled bosses to address potential conflicts. Becoming a made man thus ensured the individual disagreements did not escalate into violent family wars, illustrating the complex and guarded process of mafia induction. Families involved in organized crime employ a range of tactics to achieve the mafia's primary objective of making money. Among these, extortion stands out as a straightforward yet prevalent method. One common manifestation is the protection racket, where mobsters coerce business owners into paying a weekly fee, ostensibly for safeguarding them from criminal elements. Ironically, the very individuals demanding payment are the criminals posing the threat. Throughout history, the mafia has engaged in diverse illicit activities to generate revenue. From bootlegging alcohol during Prohibition to trafficking illegal drugs, operating in the realms of prostitution, and orchestrating illegal gambling enterprises, their portfolio is extensive. While petty crimes like burglaries and muggings contribute to their coffers, organized crime leaders recognize the need for larger-scale endeavors to maximize profits. Hence, hijacking trucks to pilfer entire shipments of stolen goods becomes a lucrative strategy. Another crafty approach employed by the mafia involves bribing truck drivers or dock workers to intentionally misplace crates and shipments, which conveniently find their way into the hands of the mob. Stolen items range from high-end stereo equipment to fashionable clothing, a particular favorite during the early career of notorious figures like John Gotti. One of the mafia's infamous strategies involved infiltrating labor unions, a scheme that exerted significant control over major construction projects in New York City for several decades. The belief is that nearly every significant building endeavor in the city fell under the influence of organized crime. Mobsters employed a mix of payoffs and threats to manipulate union leaders, ensuring a slice of the pie whenever a union secured a construction job. In some instances, they even managed to infiltrate the upper echelons of union leadership. Once the mafia tightened its grip on a union, it wielded immense influence over entire industries. With the ability to sway or stall construction, mafioso could coerce contractors and developers into making the right payments. Additionally, they gained access to substantial union pension funds. At a certain point, the mafia held the potential to bring construction and shipping activities across the entire United States to a grinding halt. In recent decades, the federal government has taken significant measures to dismantle the connections between the mafia and unions, aiming to curb their pervasive influence. The Sicilian Mafia's impact stretches beyond Sicily, reaching the American Mafia across the Atlantic. This organized Italian-American crime network, also known as the Mob, operates extensively in the United States. The historical ties and alliances between the Sicilian and American mafias have fostered collaboration in various criminal enterprises, including drug trafficking, money laundering, and extortion. Notable figures like Carlo Gambino and Joseph Bonanno, who migrated to the U.S. following Mussolini's crackdown on the Sicilian Mafia, rose to power as mafia bosses in New York City. The Sicilian Mafia's connection to its American counterpart has allowed both groups to expand their criminal activities and maintain a robust presence in their respective countries. The Sicilian Exodus, a mass migration driven by economic hardship and violence in southern Italy, played a key role in bringing mafia culture to the United States and other nations. This influx of Sicilian immigrants led to the global proliferation of the mafia, shaping organized crime on an international scale. Despite numerous attempts to combat it, the Sicilian Mafia persists in both Italy and the United States, although its influence has waned compared to previous years. The Mafia's close ties with Sicilian politics continue to shape the island's history, with accusations linking political parties like Forza Italia to the Mafia. This highlights the enduring impact of organized crime on politics and society. The term mafia has become deeply rooted in popular culture, often used to describe criminal organizations. This lasting legacy of Cosa Nostra in modern Sicily serves as a constant reminder of the intricate relationship between society and organized crime, emphasizing the ongoing struggle to dismantle the mafia's criminal network. The mafia's intricate structure, evolving over centuries, had its roots on the captivating island of Sicily. While Italy has various organized crime groups, the Sicilian Mafia is often hailed as the forerunner. Unique factors shaped its growth, with Sicily's easily accessible and strategic Mediterranean location leading to frequent invasions and occupations, fostering a deep-seated distrust of central authority. In this backdrop, the family took precedence over the state in Sicilian life, and disputes were settled through a system where punishments often exceeded legal limits. The 19th century witnessed the collapse of the European feudal system in Sicily, plunging the island into a state of lawlessness. In this vacuum, powerful individuals, recognized as capos, rose to prominence as local leaders. These capos, akin to feudal lords of the past, leveraged their influence to extract tributes from farmers under their control. Their authority, enforced through the ominous threat of violence, gave rise to the Sicilian Mafia. Victims refrained from reporting criminal activities out of fear of reprisals, marking the inception of this notorious criminal organization. Centuries ago, as Sicily transitioned from feudalism to modern governance, enduring elements of mafia life took root. The phrase Cosa Nostra, meaning our way or this thing of ours, encapsulated the distinct lifestyle of a mafioso in Sicily. By the early 1900s, organized crime had so thoroughly permeated Sicilian life that escaping contact with the mafia seemed nearly impossible. Italian dictator Benito Mussolini implemented harsh measures to crack down on the mafia, employing brutal methods. However, during World War II, U.S. troops occupying Sicily mistook many incarcerated criminals for political prisoners. Not only were they released, but some were even appointed as mayors and police chiefs. This unwitting move allowed the mafia to firmly entrench itself within Italy's Christian Democrat Party. After World War II, Sicilian mafia families recognized the financial toll of their constant conflicts and initiated a ceasefire. They established the Capola, a governing body overseeing all families, approving major ventures, and authorizing assassinations. A similar system was adopted by American mafia families in the 1950s. While these committees initially curbed gang wars, they also exposed bosses to prosecution since they personally sanctioned murders. The battle against the Sicilian Mafia reached a climax in the 1980s. Bombings assassinated two prominent government prosecutors, sparking public outrage. The government responded with the Maxi trial, where over 400 mafioso faced justice in a specially constructed bunker. Despite the defendants' disruptive behavior, 338 were convicted, with 19 receiving life sentences. Yet, this wasn't the end. In 1992, Italy deployed 7,000 military troops to Sicily, occupying the island until 1998. While the Sicilian Mafia persists today, it operates more discreetly and with reduced violence. The BBC reported in 2021 that the Sicilian Mafia has shifted focus, engaging in local drug transactions rather than international trafficking. Nevertheless, many Sicilians still turn to the Mafia for various issues. In its wake, another criminal organization, the 'Ndrangheta Syndicate, has risen. In early 2021, Italian authorities charged 355 individuals associated with this Calabria-based group. This group, fueled by billions from the drug trade, has expanded its operations globally, reaching Europe, Australia, North and South America, and Africa. In the 1800s, a wave of Sicilian and Italian immigrants began arriving in the United States, seeking new opportunities. However, a significant influx occurred in the early 20th century. While many worked diligently to establish a lawful life for their families, a faction brought with them the practices of the Sicilian Mafia. Unfortunately, anti-Italian sentiment, fueled in part by resentment towards the Mafia, reached its peak in the late 1800s. An infamous incident unfolded in 1891 in New Orleans, where a Sicilian crime family faced pressure from the local chief of police and, in turn, led to his murder. Despite the mobsters being tried and acquitted, a lynch mob stormed the jailhouse, resulting in the shooting or hanging of 11 men. As Sicilian immigrants spread across the United States in the early 20th century, the Mafia gained a foothold, particularly emanating from New York City, where 5 families vied for control. The Prohibition era marked a significant turning point for the Mafia, as it seized the opportunity to profit immensely by selling illegal alcohol and speakeasies nationwide. During this period, the Mafia's power grew exponentially, triggering conflicts between families. The early 1930s witnessed an epidemic of Mafia violence, with bosses and underbosses being regularly assassinated. The Lucchesi family, for example, experienced a tumultuous 1930, with 3 or 4 different bosses. Amidst this chaos, a key player emerged, Charles "Lucky" Luciano. Born Salvador Lucania in Sicily in 1897, Luciano became the inaugural boss of the Genovese crime family. Luciano championed an idea gaining momentum, the formation of a multi-family commission that would centrally approve Mafia activities across the nation. The move signaled a significant shift in the dynamics of organized crime in the United States. The commission, a gathering of mob bosses nationwide, initially comprised leaders from the 5 New York families, including Al Capone from Chicago and Stefano Magaddino of the Buffalo family. Acting as representatives for other Mafia families, these commission members brought forth concerns and issues from their respective territories. The Chicago boss, for instance, often spoke for families on the West Coast. This elite group held the authority to approve large-scale money-making endeavors, as well as the more illicit activities like murders and kidnappings. The commission's membership was determined through national Mafia meetings occurring every 5 years. One of these gatherings became infamous in Mafia history, the Appalachian Meeting. On November 14, 1957, mob bosses from across the nation convened in a small town near the Pennsylvania border in New York State. A vigilant state trooper initiated a raid, exposing 58 mobsters and leading to numerous trials. Beyond its immediate impact on the Mafia, the Appalachian Raid forced the American public to confront the undeniable reality of the Mafia's existence. Over time, the commission has undergone changes. Some families lost influence and no longer sent representatives. Today, rumors persist of its existence, but it is believed to be predominantly active on the East Coast, lacking the formidable power it wielded in the era of Lucky Luciano. The Commission, once an influential force in organized crime, has evolved into a more diminished presence in contemporary times. Whispers of a connection between the Kennedys and the Mafia have lingered, tracing back to patriarch Joe Kennedy. Rumors suggest that he amassed part of the family fortune through bootlegging, but biographers refute this claim. Allegedly, Joe had ties to infamous mobsters like Meyer Lansky. During John F. Kennedy's 1960 Democratic primary against Hubert Humphrey, accusations arose of leveraging alleged mob connections for favorable votes. Similar claims emerged during the presidential election against Richard Nixon, which JFK narrowly won. Conspiracy theories linking JFK's assassination to the Mafia gained traction. Jack Ruby, who killed JFK's accused assassin, had minor mob connections. One theory involves the Bay of Pigs invasion, with the Mafia resenting Fidel Castro for ousting them from casinos. The failed invasion, some argue, resulted from JFK's refusal to approve air support. Another theory involves JFK's brother Robert, the appointed attorney general who cracked down on the mafia and met a tragic end from an assassin's bullet. Another rumor ties JFK's personal life to the mafia, suggesting his mistresses, linked to mobsters, became leverage. Wiretaps hint that Sam Giancana orchestrated JFK's liaisons and recorded evidence of his affairs. Conspiracy theorists speculate that Giancana-linked hitmen played a role in Marilyn Monroe's death, one of JFK's alleged girlfriends. Giancana meant a violent end just before testifying on Mafia-Kennedy connections, adding a layer to this mysterious web. So let us know, which member is your favorite? Comment down his name below. And if you like this video, then show your love by giving it a big thumbs up, and share this thrilling journey with your family and friends. And for more amazing videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.